Well, hello everyone, Coreoveride and area here. Gonna do a review of some pipe tobacco, honey. It's a house blend from Hemingway, not very far from here, about 40 miles. I just recently got into smoking pipes, and believe me, I'm hooked now. I'm actually quitting cigarettes in a span of 4 days since switching to pipes, or after switching pipes. All right, sweetheart, put you away. In the 4 days after switching to pipes, I quite literally went from smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day to only smoking 1 pack every 2 days. So, as far as I'm concerned, smoking pipes, great way to quit cigarettes. You feel better, you breathe easier, and you get a whole lot more flavor. I'm just using a cheap Churchwarden, the first pipe I bought. And when I say cheap, I do mean cheap. It was only about $20. It's a little bit less. But, you know, even though it's cheap, it still smokes pretty good. It's just barely broken in. This honey tobacco honey blend is an incredible blend. The smell of it is like fresh honey during the summertime made from clover. It's just this wonderful, wonderful heady smell. But it's not overwhelming. And the room aroma is very light and pleasant. Doesn't even smell like pipe tobacco, to be honest. So let's go ahead and light her up here. Do the false light. For you beginners out there like me. By the way, when you go to camp after your false light, if you give the tamper just a slight twist around the edge as you camp, you'll get a lot better, a lot smoother smoke, and it'll actually burn a lot smoother too. Oh my. Now that is definitely a smooth tobacco. It's got a real light flavor. Quite honestly, it tastes like honey. I mean, it really tastes like you just put a big spoonful of honey in your mouth. Oh, this also doesn't have any real tongue bite or mouth burn to it. Though if you do get that as a beginner, I found the best way, via the advice online, is to use milk. Just get you a good swig of milk and splash it around in your mouth. Takes that burn and bite away immediately. I also find that milk tends to cleanse the palate, a lot like parsley. Giving you a renewed flavor for it. Quite simply, it's incredible. This is a wonderful, wonderful tobacco. Like I said, it's a house blend from Hemingway. It is a little bit moist, so it's a bit difficult to keep lit. I didn't quite let it dry out enough before loading. But I find once you get a good cap on the top of ash, you really don't have a lot of problems with relighting, especially if you just every now and then give it a gentle blow. Not only will that help push any moisture down into the very bottom of the bowl and up towards the embers to help evaporate it, but it'll stoke your bowl, your spire as well. It's also a very light and smooth tobacco that can even be inhaled if you so desire. Obviously, since I'm switching from cigarettes, I'm still used to inhaling, so I still inhale every now and then. As with any pipe tobacco, one of the first things you learn as a beginner is most definitely draw on it very slowly. It definitely keeps the smoke cooler, causes it to burn a lot cooler, and is just far, far more enjoyable. You also get a much, much better flavor from it if you draw on it slowly. I highly recommend, if you're anywhere near a Hemingway cigar and tobacco shop, go in there, get you an ounce of honey, the honey flavored tobacco. It should be in their house blend jars. It is definitely wonderful and definitely well worth the money. I believe it's only about $4 or $5 an ounce. About your basic price for most tobacco. Well, non-aged tobacco. Of course, I have found that if you really want to give yourself a little bit more of a kick, and you like things like nutty flavors, cocoa, pecan, rum, a really good option is getting you some holiday spirit. This is the 2011 edition, so this has been aged for probably about 13 to 16 months, somewhere around there. But when you go to load your bowl, if you mix in just a pinch, and I do mean a pinch of it, with your honey or, say, peaches and cream, even half and half like you get in the store, your local stores, it definitely gives you a wonderful aftertaste. Of course, this is just a straight bowl of honey. The room aroma is incredible. It honestly smells like somebody just sat down and made themselves up a nice cup of hot tea with a big spoonful of honey. I mean, it is just a wonderful smell. I really wish we had smell-o-vision. I know my technique might be a little funky and all, but like I said, I'm still a beginner. Of course, if there's any more experienced smokers out there willing to give advice, please, in the comments, let's start up a discussion. And for you anti-smokers out there, please either don't even come onto this because this is a smoking video, or at minimum, please be civil. No cursing, no name calling. It's just not appropriate. But I don't ban and I don't censor. So, believe me, if you come on here and starting trouble, you're going to get trouble back. That first big hit, oh man, has a wonderful flavor. About the only way it has any kind of a bite is if you get the bowl too hot. And for the beginners out there, if your bowl does start getting too hot, set it down for a moment. Take a break, get you something to drink, let it cool off. It'll be good when you go back, and it will light fairly easily too, so long as every now and then you give the ash a little bit of a tamp. Case in point. Definitely a wonderful tobacco. I highly, highly recommend it. It is a little bit odd. I noticed with a lot of the other tobacco flavors that I've tried so far, you always get a certain note when you inhale, a little bit higher note while you hold, and a slightly lower aftertaste flavor when you exhale. With the honey, you kind of get this nice, smooth, all-over taste. No peaks, no valleys, just a real smooth honey flavor. I mean, it is incredibly honey flavored. It is definitely a tobacco well worth trying. Although I do warn you, it is a little bit moister than some of the other tobaccos I've come across, so letting it dry out just a little bit before you pack your bowl will definitely make for a much more enjoyable and easier burning smoke. I definitely like that. One of the other flavors I highly recommend from Hemingway's is another house blend called Peaches and Cream. It is an incredible blend. I mean, wonderful. It's actually really great when you first wake up in the morning. Nice and smooth. Doesn't have any kind of real bite. And it's pretty relaxing. This here is so relaxing it almost puts you to sleep. I mean, it is a wonderfully relaxing, mellow experience. I mean, great for pretty much any time of the year, but this is more of a tobacco that I'd probably recommend mostly during the winter time, particularly autumn. Has kind of that warming sensation of kind of like when you drink brandy. So it's definitely a unique and very pleasurable experience. And while I'm at it, I might as well give a thank you to my wife for picking it up. She picked it out. And I mean, she really did a good job. I mean, This is an incredible flavor, and probably it doesn't seem to be all that common because I don't see a lot of honey in the on the pages, the web pages that I surf concerning pipe tobacco. It seems to be a fairly unique flavor. I hope you can find it in your area. If you don't have a Hemingway's, make sure and go to your local tobacco shop and see if they have a honey house blend. It is well worth it, although I can also say that with the flavor of this, this is definitely a mix you want to keep on hand. Age it, and definitely use it to make your own blends. It will make a wonderful aftertone to a lot of different blends. My current favorite blend is actually peaches and cream, about 2 to 3 parts. 1 part, half and half. Can be easily gotten in pretty much any convenience store or grocery store that sells tobacco and pipe tobacco. Seems to be pretty common. And like I said, put just a pinch of cocoa in there and you get a wonderful after flavor to it. With that particular blend, you get a nice burst of the peaches and cream, which is nice and smooth, real great intro. As you hold it, you get the high notes of the vanilla, and as you release, you get the lower notes and nuttier notes of the cocoa and pecan. I really think this honey would go really well with the holiday spirit, so if you ever get a chance, definitely try blending them. No, I'm not going to blow any smoke rings because, well, quite frankly, I suck at it. Most definitely a pleasant smoke. Just definitely keep it from getting hot. I'm sold. Go out, try the honey, if you can find a honey blend.